everybody, welcome back to Musings by Nikki. I am here today with just a quick video to show you what I put in my Etsy shop today, or yesterday officially I think. But who knows, this is a video and who knows when you're watching it, right? So anyhow, these are called rip strips, but on the listing they're also called rip strips washi. So they are kind of a, oh, that's giving a shadow. They are kind of like a washi tape, so you could definitely use them that way. The intention is multi-purposed. So you certainly could cut them out and use them. Here, I've cut the mushrooms one. I have already cut some of the strips apart. So here is the strip here. These are printed on matte presentation paper, so they really pick up the vibrancy of the color. This is just printed on regular printer paper, so you can see they're a little less vibrant. Still not bad, but this just makes everything. I almost don't like this. I kind of like the muted tone. This is almost like too much for me. So I like to print on coffee stain paper. Now I do my kits like that usually. But anyway, I took this off here. So you can kind of see, you can certainly use them as like a border down the edge of a page in your journal. That would look super cute. I definitely intend to print these off onto some sticker paper and use them like you would use washi, but also to use them as the other name kind of entails, the rip strip piece, is that you would take them and rip them. I've left just enough space in between that you can rip them into their individual elements. And then you end up with these great little embellishments that you can use on collaging, like I have done here. I've just made a couple of quick collages with some of the rip strips. So here is a mushroom here, here is a mushroom, and this is a tall one right here and a shorter one right there. So I've just used them to make these two tags really quick, just collaging tags, and I've thrown some of the little rip strips down in there. So anyway, this is the mushrooms one. They're all individual images, so when you buy this, there are not repeats of the images, so they're all individual. So you get, you know what, like 40 mushrooms here or something like that, 30 mushrooms. And so if you're working on a journal that, you know, has mushrooms in it, like my Wildwood Wonder, which is why I kind of made these in the first place. It was kind of born out of like a selfish desire to have them for my journal. And I was like, wouldn't that be handy? So then I made some, and then I thought, you know, this is actually has multiple like applications. So then so I made the mushrooms one because I'm like, this will be great. I can just put them, you know, on the bottoms of blank pages, like, because they're small enough that they could just go down with a little piece of cheesecloth or some, you know, yarn, oh my gosh, eyelash trim, like I've got a green kind of foresty one behind it or something. So yeah, so there's that one. Then I made this one called Field and Forest, and of course this was also somewhat selfish. It is got some berry plants over here, then some acorns and pine cones and pine and oak leaves. So, and they're all layered, all of these are layered on top of vintage paper. That's what the background is on all of these. So this one has some postal marks on it. So yeah, just different types of vintage paper, vintage book pages. So there's that one. That one's called Field and Forest. Then there are birds, and these are just lots of different types of birds. Two strips of owls here because, you know, again, there's a lot of those in my journal or in my Wildwood Wonder kit. So those were kind of the last of my selfish nature. I was like, okay, I want those for my journal too. So I'll be using those. But then there are birds and nests and other birds on here and stuff too. This one is called Entomology. The first two strips here are mostly bees. This one has a little fly on it, but they're mostly bees and wasps. Then there are some beetles in the middle here and some moths and butterflies, and then some dragonflies, a strip of dragonflies. So you get 7 strips in the entomology one. Then there is all butterflies. So these are all individual, no repeats, all butterflies, totally a ton of butterflies. So I mean, over 50 butterflies here probably. And how awesome to just have a stash of little ripped off pieces of butterfly, right, for collaging and stuff. Butterflies, I think, go with almost every theme. Then I have this one called Beautiful Bouquets. And these two are on music, and then these are on vintage papers. And they're a bunch of just little vintage floral bouquets on there. So certainly you can rip those into their individual pieces, or you could use it as washi. Some of the wider ones, you could definitely use as a tuck spot on the edge, you know, so if you glued around or sewed around the edges, you could tuck things into it. This actually kind of complements a kit that I'm working on right now called In Full Bloom, which you will probably see in the next week or so. That's been fun. And then there is this one, which is kind of very different than the others. This one is called Fancy Frames, and these are, again, they're all vintage papers, and then they have like paper or doily lace frames on them. And I was like, this is kind of fun. I can imagine, you know, ripping a piece of this off and using it as like a label. Turn this way. You can use them as labels for sure. Or you could put them with, you know, if you have like some of the little Tim Holtz people and you're layering those, you could layer some of these with it. You could put words in there. Some of the larger ones would look really cute with some words. You know, just ripped from a quote and put in there or something. So yeah, the fancy frame ones, I'm kind of excited to work with that too. So those are those kits, right? There are 7 of them. Did I do them all? Yeah, so there are 7 of them, and they are in my shop now. The other thing I want to say is that I finally started an Instagram, and because a lot of you have said, oh, I'll send you pictures and stuff when I'm done using my kit. Sorry, I'm like scooting out of my chair here. And I would love to see your work and the things that you're doing. So Musings by Nikki was already taken, and my other like old personal account was Nikki Adigan. So I didn't use that one because I really don't use Instagram anymore. So now I'm going to, though, and it is now Musings by Nikki Adigan. All one word on Instagram, Musings by Nikki Adigan. I'll put it in the description box below too. But I would love it if you guys, I think if you tag me, like if you put a picture of anything that you've done with any of my kits or any of the, you know, if you've used my ideas and you want to show me a picture of how you did your take on my ideas and stuff. I mean, I put the ideas out there to share them with the world, and I want you all to use them, and I would love to see what you do, because I'm sure you can take the things I do and make them cool in your own and different ways. So anyway, tag me, Musings by Nikki Adigan. I'd love to see